Have you ever watched someone you love become a complete stranger right before your eyes? I saw it in the pale blue glow of a phone screen at 2:17 a.m. My wife Sarah was asleep next to me, her breathing even, a picture of innocence. But her phone, which she'd started guarding like a state secret, had just lit up with a message from a Mark. The preview on the lock screen wasn't just a message. It was a dagger. Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about you. My world didn't just crack, it atomized. I stared at the ceiling of our Chicago brownstone, the city lights painting faint stripes across the room. And I knew nothing would ever be the same. She thought she was playing a secret game. But the most dangerous secrets are the ones you think no one else knows. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For 10 years, Sarah was my everything. We built a life together from nothing, sharing dreams over cheap takeout on the floor of our first tiny apartment in Lincoln Park. I thought we were a team, an unbreakable unit. But that single text message revealed the devastating truth. I was the only one still playing for our team. The strange behavior started subtly a few months back. Late nights she blamed on work dinners at restaurants I'd never heard of. A sudden obsession with her phone, angling the screen away whenever I walked into the room. She bought new clothes, expensive lingerie she never wore for me, explaining it away as treating herself. She became a ghost in our home, physically present, but emotionally a million miles away. The warmth that once filled our home was replaced by a chilling draft of indifference. When I tried to talk to her, to bridge the growing chasm between us, her words were like ice. "You're being paranoid, Alex," she'd say, her eyes cold and dismissive. "Maybe if you weren't so needy, I'd have more energy for you." It was masterful manipulation, turning my pain into a flaw, my intuition into an accusation. The villains of this story, Sarah and this phantom Mark, felt untouchable, wrapped in a bubble of arrogance and deceit. I felt small, humiliated, a fool in my own home. One night after another hollow argument, I broke. I sat in my car, parked a block away from our house, on a quiet, tree-lined street, and just shattered. The man who had promised to protect her, to love her, was a ghost haunting the edges of his own life. That was the night the broken man died, and a strategist was born. My grief hardened into a cold, clear resolve. I would not be a victim. I would be the architect of her downfall. The first step was gathering proof. I wasn't a spy, but I learned. I installed a keylogger on our home computer and recovery software on an old laptop. The digital breadcrumbs she left were a feast. Emails, deleted texts she thought were gone forever, hotel receipts paid in cash but booked online, it was all there. A sordid timeline of her affair with Mark, a senior partner at her firm. He was smug, arrogant, and, as I discovered with a little digging, married. His wife, a woman named Emily, was a quiet, unassuming person, completely oblivious. Sarah and Mark weren't just cheating. Yes, they were reveling in it, mocking me in their messages. They called me the loyal puppy waiting at home. The humiliation burned, but I channeled it into fuel. I opened a new bank account and quietly began moving half of our joint savings. I met with the best divorce attorney in Chicago, a shark named David Allen, laying out my evidence on his polished mahogany desk. He looked at the printouts of the texts, the hotel bookings, the bank statements. "Mr. Thompson," he said, a grim smile on his face, "we are going to legally and financially dismantle her." The plan was set. The trap was baited. And the final piece, the public exposure, was something she would orchestrate herself. The irony was almost poetic. Sarah came to me one evening, a fake saccharine smile plastered on her face. "Alex, honey, I have the most wonderful idea," she began. "Mark's 40th is in a few weeks and his wife is useless. I want to throw him a huge surprise party at the Drake Hotel. It'll be great for my career, and I'll need your help to pull it off." She wanted me to help plan a celebration for the man who was sleeping with her. The audacity was breathtaking. I felt a cold, dark calm settle over me. "Of course, darling," I said, my voice betraying none of the rage simmering beneath. "Anything for you?" For the next 3 weeks, I was the perfect supportive husband. I helped her book the grand ballroom, design the invitations, and curate the guest list, which included half of Chicago's corporate elite and, crucially, Mark's wife, Emily. Sarah was in her element, arrogant and triumphant, believing she had everyone fooled. She had no idea that with every decision she made, she was tightening the noose around her own neck. I had already anonymously sent a package to Emily printouts of the most damning texts. Photos of Sarah and Mark leaving a hotel on Rush Street and a single typed note, "The Drake Hotel, June 10th, 8 p.m. He's not who you think he is." The night of the party arrived. The ballroom was glittering, champagne flowed, and Sarah was radiant, the gracious host. She pulled me aside, whispering, "See? Aren't you proud of me?" I just smiled. "I've never been more proud," I replied. At 8:30 p.m., as Sarah was on stage preparing to give a gushing toast to the man of the hour, the ballroom doors swung open. Emily walked in, her face pale but resolute, holding the package of evidence in her hand. She walked directly to the stage, followed by 2 uniformed police officers. The room fell silent. Emily took the microphone from Sarah's stunned hand. "Mark," she said, her voice shaking but clear, "our marriage is over. Sarah, I believe this is your husband." She pointed at me. Then she looked at the cops. "And this man," she said, pointing to Mark, "has been embezzling from his company for the last 2 years. All the proof is right here." The second package I'd sent, containing financial records I'd uncovered, had reached the right hands. Chaos erupted. Sarah's face was a mask of horror as she was served divorce papers by a process server I'd hired to wait in the wings. Mark was escorted out in handcuffs. The social and professional annihilation was absolute, a public execution she had paid for and planned herself. I walked out of the hotel and into the cool Chicago night, leaving the ruins of her life behind me. I didn't feel joy, just a profound, hollow emptiness. The revenge was complete, but the scars remained. I had won, but I had lost everything in the process. Sometimes when the city is quiet, I think about that night, the glittering ballroom, the shattered lives. I destroyed her world because she destroyed mine first. The end.